It is a bit dark to start a video, but hey, you know what? It's better late than never. What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. We got some things to talk about. We got some major things to talk about in today's video. The main topic of today's video is really going to get you guys updated on what's going on with the Hawkeye WRX and kind of what my next move is, and also some problems that came up. So, I was driving my car, right, just cruising, and I haven't been hard on the car in a while because obviously I was breaking in the new clutch after I did the STI swap, and I think that is when, oh, there we go. I think that is when the problem arose, so I'm trying to figure it out. So pretty much, I don't know if you guys remember, a while back, I was having a problem with my oil control valve went out, and my cam phasing, it wasn't mirroring each other, and I was actually having problems or hesitation on boost. So that's my problems right now as well. So I'm having the same problem again. I'm having a hesitation on boost, but what I did already off camera is I went for a cruise, I data logged, and I tried to look at all my numbers while those problems were happening, while I was getting into boost, and all the numbers were actually looking good. So I'm gonna go ahead and check it off the list and say that is not my issue because it's looking perfect. They're mirroring each other. I have it actually set up on my access port right now. They react perfectly when I hit the gas, and also like getting into boost, they're actually perfect. So pretty much my problem, like I said, is I'm cruising, and it doesn't even matter the gear, second, third, fourth. Anytime I start to build boost, I get a weird hesitation. It's not even, it doesn't really feel like a misfire, if that makes sense. Obviously it is, but it feels more like surging, I guess, if that makes sense. So kind of what I'm leaning towards is my idle's perfect, and it doesn't happen on decel. I'm not having any weird smoke issues. I'm thinking it's either like a boost leak or maybe my MAF or something like that. I'm thinking just like the pressure of the boost, it don't like it. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So there's obviously a few things that I need to check. And if you guys have had similar issues and it wasn't like your oil control valves, it wasn't anything to do with ABCS, and it was something that was like boost leak related, let me know where the problem was, or if you guys found the problem, or if you're having the problem. Hopefully this next little couple series of videos of me figuring out this problem is gonna help you guys out. So unfortunately today it is getting a bit too dark for me to really dive in and kind of start checking things out. So I'm gonna pick up the camera tomorrow. We're gonna go through the necessary steps, and we're kind of gonna walk through and figure it out together. Hope you guys are excited. I will see you tomorrow when we figure this thing out. And we're back home. Today is the next day, and I went through a bunch of things, and I got a little bit of an update for you guys as far as what's going on with my car, what I've checked, and I'm really hoping that some of you guys have similar symptoms. You went through this already, and you can help me out. So, having a problem like this, I'll describe it kind of one more time. Getting into boost, or not even into boost, right when I'm about to get into boost, then my car starts jerking, it starts hesitating, and then eventually it will go. So it's a bit weird. It's not like it won't go into boost, or it's not like it's not hitting max boost. It's a hesitation right when it's getting into boost, like it's about to start building. I'm looking at my boost gauge up here, and right when it pretty much hits like 1, 2, 3 PSI, it starts to freak out and it doesn't like it. So with those symptoms, obviously the first thing I'm thinking is it's a boost leak, right? So what I did is I went around and I checked to see if all the couplers were good, if they were all still tight, if there was any holes in it, was it rubbing against anything? And in fact, one of my couplers actually was, but unfortunately I took the coupler off already. I checked it, looked at it, spread it, and it was just rubbing a little bit, and it didn't go through unless it's like a super pinhole leak, then maybe. But I'm still thinking that I do have a boost leak. I've been wanting to just go back to a top mount intercooler actually for a while now. My car inherently just takes a long time to spool, and I've said this multiple times before. So I think I'm actually going to just get rid of my front mount and go to a top mount to hopefully eliminate that boost leak. But that's a little bit down the line. So addressing what's going down right now, I checked all the intercooler coupler lines, and they seem to be fine. the next thing that I did is I was checking things that I would just call obvious things that you could see obviously with your eyes. So going throughout the engine and checking all my vacuum lines and making sure none of them fell off, making sure none of them maybe touched something hot and maybe melted through the line, anything like that. I checked all my vacuum lines, every connection going to the intake manifold and going outwards, and all the lines seemed to be fine. And then I went and started looking at fuel related stuff, started looking if maybe like one of my injectors was leaking. All of them are super dry, no fuel smell, anything like that. I have brand new coil packs, and I also have new spark plugs as well, because last time I had a problem like this, those were replaced. So I don't want to say it's those, because I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, like check spark plugs or check coil packs or anything like that. They're literally brand new. So I don't want to say it's that, although maybe it could be. Maybe it could be I'm like blowing out my spark or something like that. But I think I'm leaning more towards like a fuel cut issue, or maybe a boost leak issue is what I'm thinking. I still don't know, which kind of sucks and it's really annoying. But that's kind of like my best bet right now. So moving on to the engine bay, like I said, I checked all my vacuum lines, anything coming off intake manifold, everything looked to be good. Retightened down all my couplers, literally took them off, literally loosened them all up, retightened them, making sure they're all good and clamped down. Then I started checking over here. There's a small vacuum line going to like a fuel regulator right here. This was a lot of people saying that was like their issue. I took this one off, checked that one out. That one seemed to be good. I already cleaned my MAF sensor. I took it out, fully cleaned it, put it back in, reset everything, reflashed the map, and it still seems to be good. So all those guys are pretty much checked off the list. I also have a 3-port boost controller. So I checked all my lines going to the boost controller. All of them seem to be good. None of them seem to be melted on anything. Didn't touch anything hot. Everything's still connected to wastegate and the turbo like outlet here, and everything seems to be good in that area as well. So everything's still dry. Everything seems to be good. Kind of at a loss. So last time I was having a problem that was pretty similar to this, where it started to kind of hesitate before boost. It was actually my oil control valves here. This little blue connector there. There's a little oil control valve that controls the AVCS for the cam phasing. And it's kind of weird. So it's the same problem, but now that I fixed that, all those numbers when I was checking oil control valve and AVCS, like the degree at which they're phasing, everything is still phasing perfectly. They're mirroring each other. So I know it's not the oil control valve either. Nothing to do with AVCS, because I had already data logged, checked those numbers. Those all seem to be good as well. So I'm honestly a bit confused. I don't know too much about like fuel stuff, but I was looking at some like normal numbers that people were getting for like fuel pressure final, stuff like that. And all my numbers seem to be good. It was about like 33 psi. It kind of ranged around there from like 30 to I think almost 40 psi for fuel pressure. So the fuel pressure seemed to be good. Like fuel pump duty cycle seemed to be good. So I was honestly a bit confused. The only thing that is weird is when it's getting into boost. So I'm still leaning towards it's actually a boost leak somewhere. So what I'm going to have to do in the next video is I'm going to have to get a smoke tester and smoke test everything. I'm going to smoke test anything that has to do with the intake manifold. I'm just going to plug it up, smoke test, see if any of the vacuum lines are leaking, and then also do that for the same thing if I could smoke test like my intercooler piping. I think that's the thing. So there obviously has to be a leak somewhere. I just can't figure it out. It's a bit annoying. On a side note, I actually added another spacer to my Fender, and I got my fitment literally perfect. I just added another spacer in between here. So this is another mounting point for the Fender. So I just threw a similar size spacer right in here between. It actually connects to the headlight there, and it pushed out the fender in the front as well. So I used to have a little spacer that was between my fender and my flare, but now I took that spacer out and I essentially just moved it to here. So now it actually fits pretty perfect. I have to stretch my bumper a little bit over, obviously, because this is where the bumper connects. But it looks much better without having this little spacer here. Hopefully I have a photo of what it looks like before and what it looks like now. And I think that's gonna be it. I know this is like a lot of just like informational stuff, and hopefully, you know, when we all figure this out together, a lot of people can actually learn from this video, and then, you know, kind of what to check and stuff like that. So I'll be really, really stoked once I get this guy all figured out, because once I get my car running good, then I can start doing the fun stuff and like getting my new I almost said what I was going to get. Getting all my new stuff for the outside, I'll just say that. Because I have a few things that I want to get, but of course I want to make sure my car is running at 100% before I start spending money on other stuff. I want to make sure the car's running good. Always got to have a good platform before you start building on top of it. So I think that's going to be it for this video. I know it's very long-winded and it's just a bunch of me talking, but there is some people that do enjoy these videos, so I do appreciate you guys. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace out.